Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And today it's y'all, Judy Callie is on. And for those of y'all who know Judy, wow. For those of y'all who are not familiar with Judy, wow. She's gonna be talking about dragon wisdom. And y'all be prepared to be taken on a ride. Be prepared to be spoken to and with in ways that really expands the consciousness that you have access to and what Judy touches into and translates for us, gives us vision and hope beyond that vision of what's truly possible. Again, we're going to be talking about dragon wisdom today. And to tell you a little bit more about Judy, it's really Judy's an experience, but I'll tell you a little bit more about her. Judy was born at Queen of Angels Hospital in Los Angeles, in California, and continuing her connection with the angels, she's been doing intuitive healing work with the ascended masters, archangels, and angels since 1949 at 3 years of age. Her readings bring forth what is most important for you to know at this time in your life by aligning with your sacred heart and I am presence, your guardian angels, guides, family, and spirit, and other lives details most relevant to this life. What may come forth. Judy is an ascended master, crystal Reiki master, spiritual minister, world teacher, life coach, workshop leader, and guest speaker, and one of the most amazing human beings and love that I know. And it's with that, Judy, that I'm so happy that you're here with us today.
Oh, with an entrance like that, I should be walking on water, huh?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you are.
I may surprise you one day, John. Say, come join me. We're walking on the water. I am so thrilled to be here. And I have been sleeping with the dragon jade stones that we will be downloading into you guys today. And I asked it to please bring forth the people, the circumstances, the information that's most pertinent for this particular group of people. So it'll be interesting to see how it comes in. Now, there's Euphora, which is my personal white dragon. And she announced to me about 2 years ago when she showed herself, she said that the white dragons are the guardians of the Sacred Heart. And I've been working with the Sacred Heart since I was 3. So that's over 74 years. And what's interesting about this is she blows, and the dragon we're going to be working with today, they blow healing light that sparkles from their nostrils and their mouth. And when it covers you, it totally heals you in the way you're ready to be healed. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to talk about the dragons and things like that. But I'm also right here, Jesus is here, and also Saint Germain. And as I look to my right, Mary Magdalene's here. So what I'd like to do with your permission is just tap into what their messages are.
Of course.
And then we can go where we need to go. So how much time do we have? Because I don't want to go over.
You have as much time as you want, Judy. We'll follow the thread. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me start with Saint Germain. Okay. He's laughing. Okay. Here we go. He says, "Judy, you tickle me." So, so let's tap into Saint Germain. Hello. It is with complete joy that I join you, and I and John are very good friends. So I say to him, big heart, big heart, sir. I am thrilled to be able to join this call. And for many of you that do not know very much about me, I am the being that came from the mystery schools in the 1930s to the Ballards in Mount Shasta, California, to bring the information from the mystery schools about what's called the violet flame. And there's many different versions of the violet flame. But if your intention is to connect to the violet flame, because the violet flame is a flame of creation. It's what you were born out of. That's why when you use a violet flame, it clears you totally. So I wanted to present that information because when you look for the violet flame, you're saying to your heart, I choose to be pure. I choose to come home to the pure and innocence of who I really am. And isn't that a beautiful thought? So in this moment, I am offering to each of your higher selves, and if you don't want it, just say no. I'm offering to each of the cell on the phone, your crown chakra is now lit in the violet flame. And that violet flame is going inside, literally covering you, going all the way down through your feet, out the meridians. It's being directed to every form of life. And now the planet, Gaia, is now sending you through her hands bolts of violet flame to go back up the meridians through your entire being. And it comes out the crown of your head and it looks like a waterfall. And you're totally encompassed in the violet flame. And that is my gift to you, John, and to Judy, and to all on the call for being the beautiful beings that you are. We thank you deeply for your service and for your heart.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay, here's Jesus. Just when you think it couldn't get crazier, it gets crazier. Have you noticed that? Yeah, it's kind of been a theme for a while. Well, I want you to know that we are in the process now, with the cooperation of all on Earth, to go through one of the largest upgrades you've ever gone through. And it's bringing out anything that is still needing to be released, that isn't serving you anymore. And so a lot of you are in pain. You're not sleeping. Your stomach's upset. You might have headaches. You might have constant dread because anything that you've been afraid of is now clearing. So you're going through a major, I called it to Judy, an update. And that is putting it mildly. So understand that when you want to respect something and let it go, you have to go to the place where it was first created. And so a lot of you are feeling things that you have felt or thought you released years ago. And here it is again. But it's here to be released. So don't get scared. And what Judy does is she just laughs. I do. I just laugh when anything comes into my presence. It doesn't feel good because I'm being silly and I know I'm being silly and I just laugh. So I suggest you try it and know that the heart that I carry, you carry. We are all one energy. We are one heart, one mind, one soul. I am you and you are me. And now he's stepping back. And he just put his hands out, palms open from him. And he's literally sending to your heart beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rainbow colors. And he's saying, let your body take in what it needs. And now he's winking at me to let me know he's done. Thank you. Okay, here's Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene's ascended master name is Lady Master Nada, N-A-D-A. She's one of the Lords of the Seven Rays. And what I personally experienced with Mary Magdalene is many things. A lot of you are part of the Magdalene, and you are part of the Order of the Magdalene. And if you feel a special affinity to Mary Magdalene, that's why. And when she first started showing me these 12 women, and mind you, when you see these things, then everybody morphed into being androgynous. So it's not just women. But originally she showed me 12 women next to a lake in midnight with a full moon, and the lady of the lake was standing on the water, and she was guiding energy to us. And Mary Magdalene said to me, it was important for the Order of Magdalene for nobody to know who anybody was, because if anybody was arrested, they would kill whoever was in meeting outside, and they could kill them. And so the women wore hoods with robes, and then I noticed that I couldn't see female or male, it was just beings, and they were in a circle next to the lake. And when she first started showing this to me, I want to say it was maybe 15, 20 years ago. And the last time she showed me, there was a group of 12 people in 12 circles. And she said to me, that's it. So she's saying she wants to invite you, if you choose and want to participate and be in the Order of Magdalene, you just need to let her know. And she will be more than happy to welcome you. And that's beautiful, because I've never heard her say anything about anybody joining anything. So this is all brand new. And that's really beautiful. So if it feels good to you, just let her know, and she will include you. And then she will also, through your sleep state, inform you of anything that would be nice for you to know. He's saying, lead with your full heart. Don't look you as a male. Don't look at you as a female, because we're the beautiful blend of both. And on the more expanded level, I presented to Judy a long, long time ago that Jesus and I are one soul. We're not two separate souls. But in third and fourth, you come in as one sex or the other. But in truth, we both carry both. So get less attached to your gender and step more into the beautiful blend and the yin and the yang. I am Mary Magdalene, and I send you a big hug of love. And she's got her arms completely out by her sides. And she's saying, in this moment, I'm hugging everybody. May you feel the blessings that I'm sending you. And now she's backing off. Okay, I can see on my left there's a camel. So let me talk to the camel. The camel's name is Nigel. In the life of a camel, it doesn't matter if we have one hump or two. It doesn't really matter. What we're known for is being able to go long distances on very little water, because we store it in our bodies. And this particular time, especially in the last 20 years, you have each needed to be resourceful. You've needed to recognize how to be wise enough to help yourself. And you've most of all had to turn upside down everything you were taught. Because 95% of everything you've been taught is a lie. And I'm telling you that because that's what was presented to Judy in 2018 by her higher self, and it's true. 95%, think about that. So no one get confused at times. Hello? So you're unlearning everything almost that you've learned. And so it's really important that you be patient with yourself. And one of the qualities that we have as camels is patience. We go for long distances with just the sand, the wind, and our bodies. And yet we delight in it. We love to feel the wind on our face. We love to feel the sand, it's soft. We love to find the oases and fill our bodies with water. But the bottom line is we have adapted to be healthy and to stay here in many, many different ways. And so I salute you for the way you've adapted, because this has really been a really, really wild ride, as it's been said earlier. And this is something you've never gone through before. This is all new, and this is the most powerful energy you've ever experienced out of all your lives. So when you think of us camels, think of the amount of resilience that we have and know that you too are tremendously resilient. And we believe and trust in you to help us to step into the center of all, because that's home. I am Nigel, and I send you a, oh, that's camel for laugh. Of course.
Wow.
I can do that again. That's really funny. Oh, so we will continue talking to the beings as they present themselves. And can we start, John? Is it okay if we start with taking calls?
Absolutely. Let me start promoting people to panelists. So I'm going to start getting y'all live. And Judy, we talked about dragon wisdom as people are coming on live. Tell us a little bit more about the dragons. And again, you shared about the white dragon, which, by the way, thank you. I've had some profound experiences with the dragons, and in particular, a white dragon that came into me about 9 months ago, and it was just undeniable what was showing up, and so just articulating that vision. Yeah,
it's quite wonderful. Like I said, the white animals carry a higher level of purity because they're in a form of their I am presence. And so all of the white animals that are coming on the planet are to remind you that your pure essence is pure, your pure source. That's what they're reminding you of. So it's wonderful that the dragons have connected to you too, John, because they're really, really beautiful.
Oh, it's so, yeah.
The rainbow dragon, the crystal rainbow dragon, came to my doorway, and it had its baby with it. And its baby's name is She. And she had the most lovely glow because she was totally transparent. And so one of the things she talked to me about that I didn't put in the information because I figured it would come out as we talked, but she told me that we're each having 12 dragons around us of all different colors. And in this year, only from your show did she tell me this. She said, as of tonight, when we do your show, each one of the beings that are on the call, that are on the replay, or get this information one way or the other, they're each being gifted for this next year 12 dragons of every color of the rainbow, so that whatever part of them needs assistance, that particular dragon will come forth. And I'd never heard that before.
Wow.
And specifically said it's on the night of the call, and that's when it starts. And that is their gift, the rainbow dragons. So dragons carry very powerful energy. And isn't it interesting how, as always, the unloving people go out of their way to present anything that is helpful to us a lot of the times in a form that frightens us. All the movies about ETs, really, they're our galactic brothers and sisters, and we are them. We are the galactic. Everybody's waiting to land on the lawn. Also, most people may not know this, but if you listen to the prophecies of the Navajo, the Guatemalans, the Mayans, I call them the first people. If you listen to their prophecies, they talk about when the rainbow beings come, we will step into the new earth. Well, we are the rainbow beings everybody's been waiting for. And it came to me in 2005 when I had two experiences that were profound. And one was I was hired by NBC to be a psychic on a documentary on Atlantis and the Bermuda Triangle. And what the first thing they showed me, because I said to my higher self, please show me what information I'm to give globally. And it was the first time I had an Andara crystal with me. And Andara crystals are the most powerful crystals on the planet. And they come from the Andarians, which are the high priest and priestesses of Lemuria. And so I had this Andarian crystal, and it guided me. And what I saw were 3 pyramids in circular moats of water of Atlantis. And it looked like the pyramids were across the street from each other. I'm sure they were hundreds of miles apart. But when I looked at it, they looked like they were right across the street. And I'm looking at these three huge pyramids, and they look like they were made out of black marble with gold veins. And so the next thing I noticed, the pyramids were breathing. They were live beings.
Mm.
And the top of their capstone was full of lumen light, like their hair and their head. And I was watching these three pyramids breathing and the light coming out of the crowns of their head. And off to the right, I saw three golden dolphins. And I'd never seen golden animals before. And off to the left, I saw more golden dolphins. And way, way in the background, I almost missed it, there was a gold whale spouting gold water. And it took me a year to figure out that the higher selves of all the animals are gold, because gold is the color for divinity. And then I realized our higher selves are gold. And that's us stepping into ourself as source. So this was a profound opening. And so I then started recognizing other things. And I noticed how many times, because I was literally watching TV less and less and less and less, and not choosing to participate in the kind of brainwashing that most of television was doing. And being in retail for a lot of years, I knew that in your shopping patterns, you come to the right when you walk in a door. The average person, because they're right-handed, go to the right. And I knew that they were programming the music by Muzak. And it was literally, they were programming the people with unloving energy, and you didn't even know it because all you heard was music.
Mm.
So because you need to pay attention to what you're watching, what you're picking up on, and what you're hearing. And it's important that you say to your higher self, I do not choose to participate in any unloving energy in any way, shape, or form that is not honoring me or blessing me. I send it all into the light. Because you don't know today, between the food, between everything that's being poisoned, the air, you don't quite know always what's coming from where. And when you want to protect yourself, the greatest way to protect yourself is be in love in your heart, because you attract where you're at. So if you don't want to attract unloving things, you need to pay more attention to how you use your language, what you pay attention to, what you feel, what you think, how you choose. And one of the big things I talk about every once in a while, but Admiral Halosaurus is asking me to please mention it, so I am. And he is the admiral of the Pleiadian ship above Mount Shasta. When you use foul language, or when you use words that are unloving, every single time that word has been used, whatever is unloving is attached to it, because most of the time they're angry words. And when you do that, you actually puncture the heart of the person you're directing it to. And when I was a teenager, I saw this. My father was a very brilliant man, and he sat me down one day, I was about 15, and he said to me, Judy, he said, I'm going to say something to you, and please take it to heart. He said, I didn't get where I am by being rude, crude, or being unloving. He said, I know that every time I meet somebody, they're going to have an impression of me, and I want it to be the very best. And because I show my intelligence, I don't show my ignorance by saying anything that's beneath my intelligence. And using language that's offensive does not gain you any friends. And it doesn't help in your life. And nobody wants to be around an angry person. So he said, and this was when he was second command of the Capitol Records, and he said, many of the clients that we have in the musical industry, he said, when they start working with me, it takes them a little while to realize I'm not using the same crude language. I'm not putting people down. I'm not finding fault. I'm not laughing at people and where they're going through and what they're experiencing. I recognize I have one shot at it, and I better make it good. So the way he explained to me about taking the importance of using language was exactly what Ernest Holmes, when I was 7 years old, the founder of Church of Religious Science of Mind, presented to me. So I'm mentioning this because it's the same thing with dragons. It's the same thing with ETs. We've been brainwashed. And I've noticed, especially the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, people have gotten ruder. It's gotten funnier and funnier to people, to embarrass people, to show pictures of them that are not flattering, make comments, and all the sitcoms are about putting people down and laughing at them. That's harsh. You want to live in a harsh world? I don't think so. So I'm asking you to pay attention to how you use your words, how you interpret your feelings, what you share, and ask yourself, would I like to be around me? Would I feel that I'm a good influence on me? Would I feel that I matter in the world? Am I helping people feel that they matter? Am I seeing the truth? Because we're all part of one big family and we go through everything. We're all here to live everything and we're all here to experience everything. That is the journey of a soul. So everything that you want to criticize outside of you, you're living a life doing the exact same thing. So I'm asking you to come from a more mindful place. And before you say something, before you think it or feel it or share it or share it or come from any form of expression, ask yourself, am I contributing to peace in the world or am I creating havoc? Because we can't have world peace if you don't even have peace in your own heart. And my top priority is peace. I ask you to consider making that your choice and take and pay attention to how you use your energy. And I ask you to slow down and be in the present. Because when you slow down, you are being your authentic self. You're not being your world self that you've been taught to be. And we can't have anything that's loving if we continue celebrating, perpetuating, and rewarding unloving behavior. It doesn't benefit anybody. So that was Halosaurus asking me to share so that you understand that the law of attraction is alive and well, and it literally takes every single thought, feeling, word, and choice and gives you more of it. So if you don't like what you're experiencing, look to yourself. Because your relationship with everybody is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. And you only see in others where you're coming from. So I ask you to put your hands on your heart and promise yourself that you will love you more this time, this year, than you've ever loved you. And then because you're source, you're touching every heart on the planet and you're sending them that love. And you can't give something you don't already have. So it starts with you loving you. And the answer to every issue, I don't care what the issue is self-love. That comes from Admiral Halosaurus of the Pleiadian ship above Mount Shasta. Okay, here we go. So the dragons have purposely been presented to us as something to be afraid of. And when you see them, most of the time you see their mouth open with fire, right? So what they actually are doing is they are purifying and cleansing any unloving energy from wherever they're using their breath. They're not harming. And it's like when I experienced the ambassador of the new children, and I was working on the phone with a client, and all of a sudden she said to me, my gosh, Judy, my whole bedroom is gold, and this energy feels so wonderful. I could live in this the rest of my life. What is this? And she said, it's not hot at all, but my whole room is on fire, but it's cool. That is divine love. And that's what the dragons have been sharing for all these times that it's been presented to us that they are to be scared, you're to be wary of them, they're going to harm you. It's a bunch of nonsense. So my experience with the dragons is they quietly stand behind you and they support you. And most of the time, they don't need to be recognized, except like for John, where they will come and present themselves because you're now mature enough to experience them in the way that they're sharing with you. So you have to be mature enough mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually for a lot of things that are being presented to you in your life that you created before you came in. You just experience you were going to have before you came in. Everybody does. So I ask you to understand that the dragons are here to support you and to assist you in any way that they can. And they come in every color of the rainbow. And when I saw me as a dragon, I was the most beautiful aqua blue with gold sparkles. It was absolutely beautiful. So that's what I say about the dragons. And I think it's wonderful that the last 5 and 6 years, they've stepped up and people are more and more aware of the dragons. And especially, I think it was last year or this year, it's the year of the dragon. So it's obviously big time. Pay attention to the dragon. And you're also living lives as dragons because we're living lives as everything. So that's what I want to say about the dragons.
Thank you for sharing that, Judy. And yeah, it's profound. And the 12 and things that you're talking, there's so much synchronicity with my experiences over the last year since we've spoken that you're just amplifying and reiterating and the memory of that reverberating into another expansion. So this is powerful. Let's take some callers. Let's go in. Your palms are tingling. Yes, Kim, I know my whole body's tingling. April, do me a favor before we take the first live caller. Put the link for the special offer in the webinar chat. The special offer is a reading with Judy. I've already signed up for mine and scheduled my dates. I jumped ahead of the line because I'm excited about my session. I'm sure you will be also. We'll get a little bit more in detail about the special offer a little bit later. But Judy, can we start taking live callers now?
Yes, that's my favorite thing to do.
All right, let's do it. So let's start with
I love talking.
amazing. It's Renee Russell. Welcome to the call. If you can unmute yourself, and everybody, as I call on you, make sure you know where the unmute button is so that we can just make it more elegant for you in the process. Hi, Renee.
Hi, everyone. I didn't have a specific question, Judy. I was just wondering maybe what dragon messages you have for me.
You have a peach-colored dragon. And I've never seen a peach-colored dragon before, so I'm thanking the dragon for showing up. What the dragon works with you on is gentleness. You have a tendency to be much more gentle with other people than you are with yourself. Do you understand?
Sure. Yeah.
And you can expect a lot of you. And you kind of put pressure on yourself. And what the dragon is, it's been encouraging you to play more. So if you've been being guided, you might want to go to a local park and swing on the swings and give yourself a tip along the way and stop at a dollar store and get some bubbles and blow them and have fun. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Renee.
All right, beautiful. Let's continue on to next caller, Linda Paquette.
I believe.
Welcome.
Oh, hi, I just had the same question. It was, do I have a specific dragon that's near me more often? And is there any messages that I need?
Well, let me say this. I don't want to get into too much of that because that really is more on a personal session level. I don't mind explaining that because we're here to help you help yourself. And so you know you have the dragon, but if I get into every person on the call wants to know the dragon, that doesn't help anybody else.
Oh, Sure,
It's
sure.
understand. So I'm asking if there is, I'll be happy to give you a message, but I don't want to get into all about the dragons and what do the dragons want you to know, because it's very focused on just you.
Oh,
And we're on a call to talk to the hearts of everybody. So if you wouldn't mind, Belinda, I really would like to just share with you what your higher self is asking me to give you, okay?
sure, that's wonderful.
Do you sing? Do you
Oh,
sing?
do I sing? Not so much anymore.
Okay. You have a special light in your throat. I have it. That's why I understand what I'm going to tell you. I have a special light in my throat. It goes into the body with the permission of the soul. It goes into the solar plexus above the navel. And when you have not been able to speak your truth and you've had to swallow your pain, that energy is toxic. And when you swallow it, it stays in your body and it creates disease, illness, and aging. And the only way it can come out is you have to speak your truth. So one of the ways that they're telling me is you have a healing song voice. And when you use your voice within a 930-foot radius, you affect every person.
Wow.
So even if you tone, if you go la, 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 it doesn't matter. But I'm asking you to consider using your voice more in joyful ways, whether it's laughing, whether it's reciting songs, saying poems, it doesn't matter. If you use your voice, your radius with your aura right now is over 900 feet.
Wow.
So sing.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judy, with the song, does it matter the tone that we're singing it? If we're singing like abusive rap music, that's going to affect people in a certain way. If we're singing with joy, or emotion, or a purity of attention, that's another resonant field that we're activating.
Yeah, it has to come from a loving place, or it has to be your fancy. It can't come from a harmful place.
And again, just reiterating the essence of what was being spoken to before, our intentionality. So beautiful. All right, Judy, can I go on to the next call?
Yeah, just hold 1 minute. You can even tone, because a lot of you are healers and you've used toning of the voice. Toning is just allowing your natural sound to come out. And you can have a lot of fun with it.
What's the impact if we're judging our voice?
Well, because anything you judge, you've now polluted. When you just allow your natural voice to be, trust in the higher self of you, then you will have the perfect voice for that time in that direction, wherever you're at. Imagine if every time you said hello to somebody, you sent them a heart kiss. What a beautiful, you understand? So if you use your voice, even if you're laughing, even if you're laughing, they're getting it. But it needs to come from your heart, and it needs to come from a loving place. And by the way, in general, rap music is angry.
Right. Yeah, and I want to bring that as an extreme example. I want to get to the next caller, Judy, but I have to ask you, and then this is personal for me, and I think it might relate to other people on the call. So what have we been working on overcoming that expression of that voice? I'm surrounded by amazing singers, and they start singing and toning, and it's angelic, and it's all this, and here I come with this like crackly kind of can't hold a note type of thing. And so I just want to be quiet and receive, and of course they want me to play with them, but I'm feeling like I can't play with the pros, right?
Right.
How do we love ourselves into that space to play that, or attune to it in a way to heal the judgment that we have within ourselves?
Nobody is superior to anybody else. There is no hierarchy, by the way. We're all a thread in the weave of life, and every thread matters. You specifically chose and created how you were going to look, how you were going to sound, the theme of your life, how you're going to be born, and under what circumstances, how you're going to pass and under what circumstances, how many near-death experiences you're going to have. You chose all that before you came in. So you chose your voice to be exactly what it is, and it's perfect for you. So even if you sing in your head, but understand that when you allow yourself to step back and decide that this is good and this is bad, based on something as silly as singing, and yet I get very much what you're saying, and I'm not saying your concern is silly, but I want you to understand that you need to be you, and we've been stepping into the last 10 to 12 years, everything's been slowing way down so that we step into being our authentic self, and we live the truth of who we are, and not what everybody else has taught us. So when you sing from joy, even if it's just one note, you don't diminish you to accommodate somebody else. You're an original creation of divinity. There is nobody else in all of creation like you. There never has been, there never will be. So your expression of you is just as beautiful, even if you're croaking when you're singing. And I where the person was deaf and they were trying to learn to speak, and their brother laughed at them, and the father sat the boy down and said, you don't like, and you have an upset stomach a lot. How would you like it if I sat there and as you're vomiting, I'm laughing? And the boy said, well, I wouldn't like it at all. And he said, your sister is deaf and she's trying to learn to speak. Why would you make fun of her? Do you really think that's fair? And what he was pointing out is we've come from a culture that makes everything about how you look and how much money you have, and it's both shallow. We need to show who we really are and change the paradigm. So whether you squeak in the shower or you sing when you're driving, that's my big thing, with the window rolled down and the sunroof open and I just let it rip. But my point is, celebrate you in everything you do and do it in the way that feels good to you. I'm not suggesting you go and embarrass yourself if that's not something you want to experience, but always celebrate you and whatever your uniqueness is, because there's no other buddy in creation like you. And you're custom designed to be exactly who you are. So when you add your voice, even if you're looking at people professionally, that's like saying to somebody, I only want to see people dance that are really good at it. But what if a little child is just moving their feet from side to side, and that's what feels good to them? So when we start looking at better or worse, we're in our head and we're judging. Mm-hmm. So if you would do, however you may sing, however you may dance, however you may express life, it's perfect for you. And I suggest that you do it, even if it's a little bit, and even if it's in the shower, and just let your joy come out in whatever way you can. Mm. And then maybe we'll sing with a group at some point, maybe caroling at the holiday times or something like that. But your question is very valid. Mm-hmm. And we have a tendency to intimidate ourselves because we expect perfection of ourselves. And we didn't come here to live a perfect life. We didn't come to sit in a cave and ohm all day. We're here to have adventures more than 51% of our day in love. Not 100%. So allow your unique squeak to be whatever it is. And know that somebody is here to hear that. And however you choose to share, beautiful, even if it's in karaoke, right?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Judy. And I definitely let it
You're
fly in different ways. But it's been a journey and how wonderful. And again, giving myself more permission than I ever have before. And it's part of the healing. And it's so tender and
Your,
beautiful and it's all of it. So it's wonderful. Thank you for the reply to that. Y'all,
your aura, by the way,
I'm
your
sorry.
aura, can I share what your aura with is?
Please, yes.
It's 1,450 feet.
Wow.
So just so you know,
Yeah, okay.
that's
Well,
how many people.
let's see if we can double that. Or we'll 10x it, people. 10xing. That's what we'll use 10x for. We'll go even wider with it. Let me take another caller and then we'll go into a special offer. Y'all, the link for the special offer is going to be in the chat box. Or if you don't find it in the chat box, open up a new browser. Go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. You'll find Judy's picture on there. You'll find the special offer link there. It's a private session with Judy. Y'all have to take advantage. If you've never had a private session with Judy, wow, is all I can say. Just do it. It's gonna be amazing. And we'll get into the explanation of what you might receive in the special offer or what you will receive. But before we go to there, Christine, I want to go to you. I want to say hi to you and see what question you may have for Judy.
Hi, Christine.
Hey, Judy. Hey, John. Hey, everyone. How are you all?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I love this topic when I saw it come up. My partner dragon has emerged recently, and I definitely know that I seek him out and he me when I'm sleeping and in my dreams, because I know that I go ride him, and I know that he has accompanied me to what would be perceived by earthly standards as some challenging meetings, if you will. But I was just wondering, Judy, if you could share with me, that in terms of the timing, why now, and what I almost feel like I have the strength of Archangel Michael when he's around me. And so is there any relationship there, and what's the strength that he is representing, and how am I to learn from that?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. So let's start with, first of all, we are everything. So Archangel Michael is part of you, and you are part of Archangel Michael, because we're in oneness. We're not in separateness. So every time you think somebody's out here and they're a separate being, you're back in third dimension.
For sure.
And you understand, you call in the part of you that's Archangel Michael, and then you're in oneness. So who's really around you is Layatsu. Do you know who Layatsu is?
I do not.
Okay, it's Laotzu. And he's an incredible master. He's Oriental. Every time I see him, he's on a gold throne, and he's got a long white beard, and he's got the eyes of peace. Whenever I look in his eyes, I instantly come to center. He's a beautiful, beautiful being. And you work a lot with Layatsu, especially on other planets.
I love that.
That's the message your higher self wanted me to give you. So if you break down your questions, because I'm not remembering everything you said, can you tell me one thing out of everything you said that you would like to know?
Basically, the importance of the presence now of this, and I see him as a partner dragon, but the emergence of him at this time in my earthly life.
Hey, it's very simple. You're mature enough for it. They only, when you're loving yourself, at least 51% of your day. And then the dragons will come into your influence. They won't come in when you're being negative and unloving. They have no interest in being around it. They will only come in when you are loving you.
Okay.
That's their requirement.
Okay.
And so since on the planet, and we only loved ourselves 4%. And this is every soul. And we were in 95 to 96% pain, suffering, and fear. As of this last 10 to 15 years, you are part of the leaders here to lead the way, and so are most of the people on this call. And we were 10% of the population. We came on the planet carrying the highest light, and therefore we are the most sensitive. And the only people I work with are the highest lighted masters on the soul, on the planet, that are the most stuck. And it's because they're so sensitive. The more evolved you are as a soul, the more sensitive you are. So the dragons come in when you're stepping into your master self. And that's what we've been doing the last 2 and 3 years. The old you, Christine, that was born here and had a life here is gone. She's not here anymore. So your human mission is finished. You're now loving yourself more than 51% of your time each day.
That's
And
very
this is
good news.
time since we were infants that we've been given an opportunity to step into our authentic self. And you have to slow down and be present to live your truth. So dragons come in when you're mature enough for them. Thank you.
I love
Christine.
that. That's such a gift. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Christine, thank you. It's wonderful to see you.
Good to see you too, John. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. All right, y'all. I hope you've clicked on the special offer link. We're going there now, and we're going to go into more Q&A afterward as well. But Judy, I'd love it if I love how you describe the special offers every time and how how you show up in those sessions, because it is so generous. What's available. So
I do. The first different about what I do that I've noticed is I don't make time or money more important than you. So whatever you pay for it, follow your heart. But I notice, and I'm 100% present with you. I'm listening to every word you say. And most people have not been really heard. When somebody's talking, the other person is so busy trying to think of what they're going to say that they don't really hear what you're saying. And that's when you're in the little you, the self-centered. So one thing I do is you and I, every single person I have a session with, you and I agreed before birth to have that session. And we agreed to specifically cover certain information and to be helpful in certain ways. And so when you are guided to me, you're guided when you're mature enough mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually to be tapped into what your higher self wants you to know. So that's why sometimes your session and when it's being scheduled is 6 or 8 months from now. And right now my clients are scheduling to the 1st of June. So the point is, it isn't about how soon you get in. It's about you having it when you're mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually ready. And that isn't until the day of the session. And if it gets delayed for whatever reason, it's because you're still not ready. And then maybe it's a week or 2 later. So when I work with you, what I do is help you get unstuck. And when Ascended Master Hilarion asked me to go public, for the first 45 years of my life, nobody knew that I was connected to the angels, Ascended Masters, or Archangels. I told no one. And then they came to me, Ascended Master Hilarion and Archangel Gabriel, your clarion call, and Mother Mary. And they said, would you go public? You agreed to go public in a couple years. And I said, doing what? And they said, doing healing work. And I said, I don't do healing work. And Hilarion said, well, what is it you think you do? And I said, I see the divine perfection of who everybody is, and I send them love. And he said, well, what do you think healers do? And I said, I don't have any idea. I didn't grow up in a family of healers. I've never been to one. I've never seen anybody doing healing work on anybody. And he said, no, that's not true. He said, do you remember after your open heart surgery? And in 1949, I was one of the first children that had open heart surgery. They just perfected it the year before. And during my open heart surgery, I had my first near-death experience. As of October of last year, I've had 5. So he said to me, Judy, do you remember after your session and your surgery, mind you, I was only 3, weren't you guided to put your hand on people's hearts? And I said, yes. I didn't know why, but I knew that if I put my hand on somebody's heart, they'd feel better. And if I couldn't touch their heart, because I'm very sensitive to people's personal space, so if I couldn't touch their heart, I'd try to touch their arm or their leg. And if I still felt I was being too invasive, then I would see them in this big pink heart, and I would shower them with oodles of pink hearts of love. I did not know that was healing work. I just knew I was guided after the surgery to do that. So he said, I want you to know that you spent so many lifetimes doing healing work that you are so good at it that we're going to have to keep you amused or you're going to get bored. And the moment you get on the phone with anybody, you're going to instantly know exactly what they need. And he was right. I do know. Like 2 years ago, I took off 3 months and I did over 850 sessions, and I knew what every single being needed.
Wow.
Once not known. So when I do a session with you, I come from getting in touch with your whole being, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything. And then I share and work with your higher self. And I give you only what your higher self asks me to share with you and nothing else. So when I work with you, it's not the same for anybody. There may be some information which may be similar because you're an ascended master or you're one of the new children, and there's certain characteristics we all share. But your session is personal for you, and we can talk about anything. And the different ways in which I've helped people has been astounding. And I don't take credit in that way. I'm grateful that I was available and we linked up. So my point to you is, if you're being drawn to have a session with me, it's because we've agreed to have this before you were ever born. And as far as ascended masters go, you know you're an ascended master because you've never fit in. Not one single way. You're not designed to fit in. You're designed to lead. And you'll also notice that you've been being rejected since you were a child. And that's because our light is so bright that we touch every heart on the planet just by breathing. And every time you heal you, you offer that healing to every soul on the planet. There is no greater service you could give. Doesn't matter, Hilla Beans, what you do in this life, because you didn't come in to harm. You came in to love. So I don't care if you play tiddlywinks and laugh all day. That's what you feel guided to do. You do that. And you don't owe an explanation to anybody because everybody's a unique individual creation. So when I do your sessions, what I do is I meet you in the heart. And that's home. And when you're in your heart, you have no concerns, no worries, no doubts, and no fears. You are completely fulfilled. You are completely supported. And you are really in your divine flow. And everything opens up in grace and ease. The moment you step into resistance, which is fear, folks, false evidence appearing real. The moment you step into resisting anything, I don't care why, now you're in your head. And your head just has your ego. It has no truth. It has no love. Your heart's never lied to you. So that's the difference between when you're in your head and when you're in your heart. And you want to live in your heart at least 51% of your day. So that's what I've known since I was 7. I've known that I'm here to help people remember who they are. You didn't come here to learn a doggone thing. You already are everything. You came here to remember who you are. And because you carry a library of all of creation in your own heart, you know everything. But if you were exposed to everything that you are, you'd explode. So you decided before birth all the people, places, things, and experiences you would have for this life, and you programmed it in your heart. You chose every issue you want to go through, and you even downloaded the solutions to those issues so you could heal them if you wanted to. And you also chose how you were going to wake up and remember who you are. So please don't ever compare yourself to anybody else. You're an original. and you have a specific gift that you can give that only you can give, but it can't come out of a heart, only can come out of a heart full of love. It cannot come out of a head full of fear. So I ask you to slow down, be present. My guides say, be where your feet are, and know that all of your guides and angels and archangels are other parts of you. They're not other beings. They're parts of you. So my sessions come from honoring you, and however long it takes is how long it takes. I don't charge you for the difference. And as an example, last Monday, I had somebody who had a 30-minute session, and I had somebody who had a 60-minute session. I spent 3 hours with the first lady, and I spent 4 hours with the second lady.
Wow.
That's what they needed to get unstuck. So how would it help me if you paid for an hour, and after an hour I said, okay, we're done, and you left in the same stuck position as when you got on the phone?
Mhm.
That doesn't. I wait until your higher self shows me the word complete, and then I know you've gotten everything that we were meant to give you, and you're also unstuck a lot more than you were when you got on the phone.
Mhm.
So that's how I work, and that's the way that it kind of works for me. And I just tune into only what honors you. And it's pretty amazing because the messages I get are just astounding. I had a lady for the first time, I've never given a message like this. She's an android. And it showed how she has what they call hybrid children, and from 3 different planets. And she has taken on in one incarnation being an android because she can go anywhere and not be affected by anything. She's partly machine. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. Wow.
Never given before.
They promise you wouldn't get bored.
No. And second thing I do is I create a custom prayer. And there again, I go into the angels just like I do for the sessions. And I ask, what would be the most pertinent, perfect topic for this particular group of people? I don't just make them up. And I created a prayer, a custom prayer for your people with the goddess Selene. And I want to take a minute and share with you about her, okay?
Yes, please.
She's called the moon goddess, and she's to assist you with heart healing. And this is for the people that are scheduling a session, because when they're guided to do that, it's because they need to connect to goddess Selene, and she needs to help heal your heart. So when I saw her, she came in with 2 horses, and she was wearing a sparkling white robe with a white rose symbol, wearing a gold crown with a crescent moon, stars, and a halo on the top of her head. I was asking her to heal the Sacred Heart in whatever way honors and blesses your body. And that's what she's going to do. She also increases your gut feeling, so you will know what's a great divine choice for you by giving you advice in your dream state and by creating for you psychic visions. She says, I'm gifting you each with a peach selenite heartstone that I'm offering to your Sacred Heart to help your healing journey. Once love has touched you, you are forever changed. Love is emotion and movement, and seeks to ride the wind like a seed of hope, seeking fertile soil. Love is constantly evolving, shifting, and changing, and only when there is love in your heart can you touch love. Your heart has great intelligence and receives intuitive info first. It is a powerful generator of electromagnetic energy, producing the largest field of any organ and has 60 times more electrical field than the brain. Your heart field is a transmitter, a biological oscillator that can connect you to other hearts even at a great distance. 60 to 65% of your heart cells are neural cells like brain cells, and your heart rates increase. I think this is marvelous. Your heart rates increase prior to a future emotional stimuli and processes seconds before the body experiences the event. Is that not fabulous? You're giving extra loving energy before you experience something that may be painful.
Hmm.
So this peach selenate heart, it's a healing stone from Morocco, takes the calming, healing energy into a higher level of light and instills deep peace. And it goes on and on and on. So what she's saying, and we get down to the part that I wanted to share that last part with you. I have brought you each back home to Mount Olympus to remember your own goddess and God self, including your ancient wisdom. You are welcome to stay here and rest for a while. You can do that anytime. You can call in the part of you that's the goddess moon Selene and ask to be taken to Mount Olympus so you can rest. Isn't that beautiful? You are welcome to stay here. You can see there's lots of lounge beds out by the pool of rejuvenation, and you can swim in these sacred waters to help your glorious sacred hearts heal. Please do not worry, there's no time here, so you will not be missed out of your homes or your families. As you each rest, my gift of peach selenate heartstone will be offered to each of your sacred hearts. You may choose to accept my gift or not. And then she goes on and on. So the point I'm making is, one of the things she does is she kisses through a beam of light from her third and fourth eye into your third and fourth eye. And that increases your psychic abilities, and it helps you to know the truth for you. That's the custom prayer that I came into for the people that are choosing to schedule a session.
Beautiful, Judy.
That's what I.
That's, y'all, the offer is amazing. The price is amazing. The generosity, the session will be the right timing for you, with the right amount of length for you. And I leave Judy sessions altered every time, empowered and connecting to aspects of myself that I had forgotten were there. And Judy brings me back home. So Judy, thank you. And the way that you do that for me and so many other people as well. Again, the link, y'all, for the special offers in the chat box. You can open up a new browser and type in beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. Or if you're watching on the replay, there should be a little button right underneath the video that says special offer, and just click on that. So again, y'all take advantage of that. And there's a prayer again, a dragon prayer that's in this special offer also, that is available to you as you're waiting for your session. In that time, my session that's already booked, that's not until June. The last time I booked it, I think I had to wait 4 months for my session, and it just, Judy, you're right, it came absolutely at the right time. It's like ego kind of landed, and it's like, where's my session? And it's too far off, and maybe I'll cancel it. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing those, 4 months later, but everything told me just wait, it's okay. And I was so glad that I did. And we don't have to get into it, but wow, the synchronicity, the alignment that takes place, they're not just words that I'm speaking because I'm trying to convince you to buy a package. It's my authentic experience, and I'm sharing that with you because I know if that alignment shows up with me, I know about a doubt that alignment shows up for you as well. I trust that, and that's why I surrendered to this as well. Judy,
Well,
can we?
you will either into June, and the next big drop is into September. That's
Okay.
what's offered now. So I just want to take one answer what you said. I had a client, this was maybe 15 years ago, that contacted me in September. I'd never given her a session. Somebody mentioned her to me and me to her. And they said, would you contact her? And I did. And she said, when do we schedule you? And I said, I need your higher self to contact me, and then I will. So in September, October, November, I'm checking. December, I'm checking. Her higher self kept saying, nope, nope, nope. We went all the way to June. And in the beginning of June, I asked and I got nope. And then in the middle of June, in the middle of the night, her higher self came to me and said, okay, now she's ready.
Wow.
So it was like June 15th from September before. And when she got on the phone, she burst into tears. And she said, how did you know? And I said, what are you talking about? And she was going through one of the most painful things she was ever going to go through in her life. And it was exactly presented to her the day of her session.
Wow.
She knew nothing about it before then.
Mm.
And had I not had this session with you today, I don't know what I would have done to myself. So that's how divine perfect it is.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Amazing. Hey, Judy, can we go ahead and open up some more Q&A?
Yes, I would love it.
Let's do it. Fallon, it is so good to see you. Welcome to the call. And then we're going to go through a lot more, so y'all be patient. I want to go through everybody, but we'll try to do as many as we can. Hi,
Thank you
Fallon.
so much.
Who is-
I'm so excited.
Who is this? I'm
This
sorry, I
is
didn't catch your name.
Fallon.
Fallon. Hi,
Yes.
Fallon.
Hi, Judy. Thank you so much for being here. This is like absolutely amazing, life-changing. I was just seeing if there's any messages from my higher self.
Okay. First of all, your name is not by mistake. You're living a life as a falcon.
Oh my
And
God,
you
I love
carry
that.
as your falcon. That is your totem animal. And that was to help you remember because you chose that name before you were born. Okay? In the falcon energy, what falcons are known for are precision. So you're very guided to know and to hone into something that's not quite right, and you know how to bring it to the truth. You recognize that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. You're also very good at counseling because you have to bring two people from two opposing ideas and bring them to the center so that they find a way to agree to not agree. Okay? So you take them from agitation stages to harmoniously coming to the middle, and they agree to disagree. That is a tremendous gift to have because people feel safe in your presence to share because you emit a huge compassionate heart, Fallon, and people feel it and feel safe in your presence.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good to see you, Fallon. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, let's continue. Carol Klein, welcome to the call.
Thank
Is this
you.
Harold?
Thank you, John and Judy. Yes, this is Carol, and I have had a call
Hi.
with you before. And Judy, I am so excited to book another call because your call to me a year or so ago was so spot on and wonderful. And I'm excited to see what messages you have for me next. And John, thank you for hosting, Judy and all your other callers. It just, you bring so much to this world. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate that.
So Judy, can you tell me what kind of things do I have to look forward to in our call coming up?
First of all, you haven't even created tomorrow yet. So I can't tell you anything beyond this moment. Remember, we haven't created tomorrow yet. We have no future. What determines what you're going to experience tomorrow is based on how much you love yourself and nothing else. So the first word that came to me was geisha girl. So very different from what you're asking. And so your higher self is showing me you as a geisha and that you came from being an orphan. Your parents were killed in a flood of water, and you were 4 years old, and your aunt took you in. And your aunt loved makeup and being on stage, and she would do anything to be on stage. She loved having an audience. So she taught you how to put on plays, and she'd put all this makeup on you and fix up your hair and put on a little robe, and she'd say, "You're my geisha girl." And when you got older, you discovered that you loved being in the theater. You loved the whole part of it. You loved preparing it. You loved wearing special clothes. You really were an authentic little actor. And so your aunt always called you her little geisha girl. And as you got older and you decided to be a geisha girl, you found that every time that you went on stage, you touched different people different ways. And you began to realize that you had an influence when you were pretending to play. And everybody would cry and they would rejoice when they were around you. And you realized that you were a healer. And so the more times you went on stage, the more people you healed. So when you think that you don't matter, and you think that how important could I possibly be, just your presence helps people heal. And you are your aunt's little geisha girl. Your name is Suki, S-U-K-I. Enjoy,
Sweet.
Carol.
Thank you very much.
You're
Enjoy.
welcome.
So beautiful. Judy, when this information comes in, what's the intention of that information? What's the gift of that remembrance for
The
someone
truth.
like Carol or other of us to
The truth.
Hmm.
The purpose is the truth. Because when something comes in, if it feels good, then it's the truth. If it comes in and you can feel not good with it, then that's coming from your head, not your heart.
Hmm.
When you trust in the integrity of your own soul, and you truly do trust, you don't need to know and you don't need to understand. Those are both fear-based concepts. So because I trust for years, and I don't need to know and I don't need to understand, I receive information 15, 20, 25, and 30 years before I see it in print or hear other people talking about it. So that's what you want to do. You want to trust in the integrity of your higher self, because your higher self are different levels of you going from being creator to having an experience, to experience as creator, different experiences. That's why you're having lives. You want to telepathically and also tactily experience life. You don't just want to float and glow.
Mm-hmm.
And as a spiral of light in your natural form, that's what you are, a golden spiral of light floating and glowing in bliss. But you wanted to have tactile experiences, so that's why you're here.
Beautiful.
Does that answer it?
It does. Thank you. And Carol, thank you for coming on.
You're
It's wonderful to see you.
welcome.
All right. Anne Sanchez, welcome to the call.
Hi, Anne.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for holding space and being here. I've been working with a dragon pretty powerfully for a few years now, and that feels wonderful to touch into this wider community. I feel really honored.
Mhm.
And wondering if you have, what's coming up for me. My heart is
Okay,
really
like I said, I can't tell you what's coming up because you haven't created
well
it yet.
higher self.
Right.
What do they want to share?
Whatever your higher self wants to share. So let me tune in.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. There's something that's been festering in you for a long time. Do you know what it is?
I'm recently going through some inflammation in my lower intestines, like I'm in my upper
Yeah.
intestine, so I'm moving through the power solar plexus, and yeah, a relationship
Yeah.
changes. Yeah.
Because what they're showing, you're on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking. So inflammation comes from, on some level, holding on to something that's been festering and you've had a hard time letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is? It's somebody who betrayed you. You look at it as a betrayal. Do you know what your higher self is talking about?
I feel like it's deeper than my personal relationship right here and now. I feel like it's but it definitely could be my relationship that I'm in right now, but it also feels
Because it irritates you.
yeah.
So I want you to know that the reason is your partner is not in the same frequency of love that you are. So I'm going to suggest that you see everybody as a golden being of light, because that's who we all are. This is a big story we've all made up.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see it as a golden being of light, we're all playing different roles to tell a story. and your partner is not in the same frequency of self-love you are. You're a highly evolved ascended master. They're not there. So I'm suggesting that you follow your heart, you come first, and you allow yourself to feel yourself cooling down and coming back to center, because the experience you're having with them is merely to show you that they're not where you're at. And it irritates you because they are insensitive in many ways to your needs. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to suggest that the beautiful thing is, because the dragons came in, and because the dragons are here with all of you, have 12 around you, when you go to bed tonight, tell your higher self, I want to receive a healing of my dragon self by my fellow dragons. And I know that every part of me is receiving the love so that I come back to my center and all the inflammation can go. I'm going to keep the pearl of wisdom. I don't need the inflammation anymore. And if you can't remember everything I just said, then just say to your higher self, I want what Judy said for me from my higher self to be my experience while I'm sleeping tonight. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you
love
so
that
much.
on the call. Wow. All right, Judy, shall we do another one?
I would love it. Because
Okay.
I will do it of all the stuff that we needed to download tonight, and it will take maybe 15 minutes. So the rest of the time you can talk to people.
Well, we're going to be in download also. So should we get into that?
Yeah. No,
Let's-
I'd like to take a few calls, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, let's take some more calls. Let's continue on. Let's go to Sandra. Sandra, welcome to the call.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Judy. I'm sort of nervous because because I guess I'm just speaking in front of a bunch of people that I've always just listened to. But anyway, I thank you, John, for taking my call. And Judy, I had a session with you a couple years ago and just loved it. And I just appreciate all you do, and John. And so I would like to know, I've been trying to sort of hearing my higher self, I think, within my head, but I'm trying to connect, but I guess, and wanting to ascend further and help others in some way in service. But rather than all that, I know that's more of a private session, which I'll probably do again. So just a message, please, I guess, from my higher self now would be helpful.
Okay, first of all, you are one of the brightest on the planet. Take that in. And remember, nobody's ever made a mistake. There's never been a victim. Everybody's agreed to everything before they come in. That's why forgiveness has no need. When you believe in forgiveness, then you believe in victimization, and that's not true. And the older the soul, the more extensive choices you make to experience, because you've already done all the simple stuff. So Jesus calls them the doozies. Okay, so you carry this beautiful light that fractures into prisms. And when you are laughing, you activate that prism of light, and everybody on the planet feels it. That is your main gift. It's through laughter. And one of the things that it's important that I suggest you get rid of is the idea that you're not enough. Because remember I said, when we came on the planet, you're touching every heart automatically. And as you heal you, you offer healing to every heart on the planet. That is all 10% of us here to lead the way, and the 20% that we woke up in the last 2 years. So now we have 30% that are awake. So you're already giving the highest service you can give. So in 2007, which was halfway through third and fourth dimension, Archangel Michael came to me and he said, Judy, every soul on the planet agreed to ascension or they can't stay here. Every soul on the planet is allowing to release all karma because karma is only a third dimension thing. Every soul has agreed to release all oaths and covenants, agreements, and vows of third dimension. Every soul has agreed to step into their androgynous self and align with fifth dimension in their light body. And by the way, you came in, every soul on the planet, as an androgynous light being. You can ask any doctor, he'll tell you. We all carry male biology and we all carry female biology, but churches have talked us out of it. So understanding that as you come in, you also agreed to take care of all of your own needs. And every soul agreed to do that. It's not your job to heal, fix, mend, or band-aid one more soul. We're done. You are now a sovereign being with a clean slate, and all of your family members are not your family members. They are from your soul pod, and these are 500 beings that are resonating at the same level of self-love you are, and you hand chose 50 out of the 500 to live a round of lives with. And you decided, and they decided, who was going to play your husband, and who's going to play your child, and who's going to play the bully, and who's going to play the person that betrayed you, and who's going to play the person that showed up one day and solved your problem. Everybody chose their part. Well, all scripts were dissolved in 2010. You have no more script, and you have no more, in any way, shape, or form, the idea that anybody has to do anything. So if you don't feel in alignment or feel good about being around what you would call certain family members, you don't have to be. You're done. So he said to me, Judy, you don't even have to do healing work anymore. The dolphins came to remind you guys that you're divine beings of joy. And now you are in the second half of your life. And this is about you playing and laughing and self-pleasure and having fun. It has nothing to do with work. You're done. And when he said that, I said, I absolutely love what I do. And he said, okay. He said, I want you to consider there's two things that have changed. Number one, I want you to hear this. You only work when it's fun. What a surprise. You only work when it's fun. And Mother Mary said to me, Judy, the word work is an empty word. You might want to consider using joyfully creating because that's an alive word. So when you get up in the morning, you're not getting up to go to work. You're getting up to joyfully create your day. What a different idea. So my point to you is, he said, and you're here to only work under the circumstances that work for you. You're not here to solve their problem. You're not here to take away their pain. That's their job. So now you design your life in whatever way honors you. And when you make that choice, then you are living your greatest potential for this lifetime. You are aligned with your divine vocation, and you're in alignment to touch every heart on the planet you're here to touch and beyond, and every heart that's here to touch you. And the perfect contacts and connections are made. So one of the things that you gift everybody with in your heart, Sandra, is when you are around people, you raise their frequency the next level. And while they're in your presence, they feel better. And that's showing their body if they chose to love themselves more. Because remember, the answer for every issue is self-love. If they choose to accept that gift, then you've helped them go into the next step. And you have to be a very evolved being to do that. So no more living small. Do you understand?
Yes.
You hug,
Thank you.
and you hug you 8 to 9 times a day. Because every time you hug you, you heal. When somebody else hugs you, your body goes, well, that's nice. But when you hug yourself, you actually heal. And it takes 8 to 9 hugs a day to maintain mental health and wellness. So that's the gift that you bring.
Thank you
Right.
so much. Thank
Yeah.
you for all you
You're
do.
welcome.
Mm,
Thank you.
beautiful. Okay, let's
The
continue.
same.
Oh, Judy, please.
No, I just said I say the same to you, and I say the same to John. Thank you for all you do.
All of us. It's so beautiful. All right, let's go now to David. David, welcome to the call.
Hi, David.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you. My consciousness is multidimensional. I'm embarking on working with whales, but the topic tonight was dragons. So a couple
Yes.
questions about dragons, and I think as I was waiting to be called that a lot of the answers came to me, but I will ask you anyway. We're all familiar with the traditional form that they show dragons as, a physical form. And I was initially wondering, what are their energetic forms, vibrational forms, whether they're higher beings. And as I was sitting here waiting, what I saw was they're just distributed through the entire multiverse hologram. But they have a certain energy which I cannot articulate because there's no language, but you may be able to say something about it. That's my
No,
one.
you're correct. You're correct. They do.
Mhm.
And it is a frequency higher than where humanity's at this point.
Surely.
When they show me them, they show me like wind.
Yes,
They're not a
that feels right.
yeah, they're not a being. They are everything, but they look like wind.
Okay. That resonates. That feels right to me. The other
I
question.
also want,
Yes, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I also have heard the term dragon pair, and I have a suspicion as to what that's referring to, but could you tell me what is a dragon pair?
A dragon what?
A dragon pair.
Spell it.
Pair. A pair,
A-R.
pair of
I'm sorry
dragons.
for some.
A
I'm
pair
not
of
connecting to
a pair of dragons, sort of like soulmates, only complementary race of dragons.
Okay, I get it. All right. No, they're like us. We are our own soulmate and we are a twin flame. There's no others. Well, it's the same with dragons. They may pair up to specifically share something, but in general, they're individual expressions of divinity, just like we are.
Yes.
They don't seek to mate and they don't seek to be exclusive. They're everything and they choose to honor all of life. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, and essentially, they're really one in two aspects. Or
Master, can I about you?
Yes, please.
Mhm.
You are one of the most precious beings on the planet because you have a heart that goes all the way to Venus. You're mainly a Venusian. And Venusians, I worked with 4 Venusians for 18 months every day. They were in the house. We were talking to them. And Venusians come from such a loving place. The goddess of planet Earth is Lady Master Venus. The god of planet Earth is Sanat Kumara. Sanatkumara. So when people say I was sitting at the throne of God, they were sitting at the throne of Sanat Kumara. Every planet has its god and goddess. So I tell you this because you are the god and the goddess of Venus. Because in the frequency of love, there's no separation. It's not God and goddess. It's oneness. And you hold the essence of Venus, which is such a loving planet, in your very aura. And so we are also very connected to the whales because the whales are responsible for the morphinogenic field of the earth. that means they make sure that an avocado tree doesn't produce strawberries.
Yes.
Okay? With what that whale and whale calling and whale singing is the highest frequency you can hear on the planet. They carry the highest frequency. And you've lived a life as a whale caller in Tahiti in the 15th century. And so the whales speak to your heart in whale language, which you get.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And I've been drawn to someday go to Tahiti to be with the whales.
Yeah. So I'm asking you to go to the planet Sirius and tell your higher self you're ready to go to the planet Sirius and you want to receive the healing by your own pod of the white and golden whales and dolphins.
Yes.
Because that's your family.
That's an all-water planet that
Yeah.
the Earth whales
Thank
came
you.
from.
Yeah, thank you, David, for coming on.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Judy. Judy, can we take one more
You're welcome.
caller? Can we go take one more
Yeah.
caller before we get into? All right. Before we go into the caller, the private session with Judy, the link's going to be in the chat box again. Y'all take advantage of it there. David, you have a lot of questions and your mind is so beautiful and going different ways. And I just pause because I want to be in the receptivity of what's flowing through. And I highly recommend the session with Judy because the whale connection, just what I see is amplifying in the field. And Judy, when do we know that we're getting too much? And David, I'm not suggesting this about you, but it's just being stimulated. When we're so preoccupied with the how that we're not really receiving the essence of what it's gifting to us.
Right. Well, the way it works is you receive what you're mature enough to receive, and anything that you're not mature enough for goes on a shelf mark later.
Mm.
And your higher self brings it back to you when you're ready.
Okay, there you go. That's simple. That's simple. So beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all, again, the link for the special offer, the private session with Judy, the dragon prayer that's in there as well that you'll receive as part of the package. Also, it's in the chat box. Y'all take advantage of it. There's a 2-payment opportunity in there also if you want to break it down to payments. And Judy, how are these calls conducted? Do you still have them on Zoom? I know they're not, y'all, the sessions are not recorded. If you want it recorded, you can record it on your device and take it that way. Go ahead, Judy. Yeah.
You can record. I'm sorry. You can record on Skype.
Okay. So you guys can record on your side, but Judy's not gonna, she won't be in that transmission setting up technical things because she's gonna be in with you, not with computers.
I'm in an alt state. And so I'm 100% tuned into you. And I don't want to be distracted with anything that's more powerful. You're the most important thing to me. That's all I care about.
There you go. There you go. Love that. So again, the link's in the chat box. If you're listening on the replay, it's right underneath the replay page, or in that box right underneath the video, or you can always find the special offers on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And before we get into this transmission that Judy's bringing us into, Maria, I want to take you as a caller.
Hi, Maria.
Let's have you come in.
Hi, Judy. It's been so wonderful listening to you. I wanted to ask you, so this has popped up in my life a couple of times, and I'm thinking maybe other people can benefit from this. But for me personally, I seem to get momentum, and then life events happens that are quite strong that kind of stops me in my tracks. And my question is, how can I don't even know how to say, to kind of break that pattern, or is it a pattern, or do you have anything to say on that?
Hey, Maria, it's a wonderful question. And I've appreciated every caller presenting all their questions, okay? Because everybody wants to know those things. So let's start with, we are going through the most intense time we've ever gone through in any. This is the largest experience of life we've ever experienced. And you are doing the largest amount of stuff in this life because this is our last life doing reincarnation. So we've got loaded all the things we wanted to experience physically into this life. And it can sometimes feel absolutely overwhelming. But isn't it interesting that you're still here? And yet think of all the things you've been through that you never would have thought you would have experienced nor gotten through. That's how talented you are.
True.
So let's talk about that works, okay? We've been programmed with 95% of everything we've been taught is a lie. So when you start experiencing something that doesn't feel good, that's because you've created to have that experience so that you start releasing what no longer works for you. So remember, the answer to every single issue is self-love. It's that simple. So if you love yourself a little bit more every single day, you're creating a loving future, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. So you have something come up and it doesn't feel good. What that's first letting you know is this isn't the truth for you. That's why it doesn't feel good. So the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is stop and ask yourself, don't go through it because that's what you've been taught to do. Plow through it. No. You step back and you look at it and you say, what am I afraid of? Because there's something I'm afraid of my higher self is bringing me to notice more and be in touch with more so that I'm not stuck. So what am I afraid of? And when you finally realize what it is, you hug yourself and then you laugh. And you laugh the deepest laugh you can laugh. And you keep giggling until you've shifted out of the fear back into your heart and love. Because you're being silly. And your higher self is trying to show you that it's not true. So laugh. Because you're being silly. It's not to be judged. It's not to be criticized. It's not to be made and look at how awful I am. It's a thought. Let it just go through. Don't hold on to it. Laugh. And I believe laughter is the fastest way to heal. So after you've laughed and you've shifted from being in fear to being in your head and your center, then answer your question or make your choice. Don't do it when you're in fear because it's not going to be the truth. It has to come from love. And then ask yourself, how can I love me more? What can I do in this moment that loves me? Not how can I criticize myself because I should be perfect. That's a lie. How can I love me? And it could be as simple as taking a bubble bath. Putting candles around, sit and soak in 30 minutes in Epsom salt. It can be you dancing in your house to music. It can be you playing Monopoly. It can be you listening on YouTube to children laughing. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to do something that loves you more, and then it will start shifting. So when you put your energy into the problem, you increase the problem. That's the law of attraction, right?
Right.
If you put your energy into the solution more than 51% of your day, then your higher self in the law of attraction helps you create the solution. And the solution is always the opposite of what you're afraid of. So what would you say is your greatest fear?
Oh boy. One. I feel one is very, I'm afraid of not meeting to have the love of my life in this lifetime.
Okay, first of all, you are your own love of your life. There's no others.
Right. Okay.
look outside of you for what you need. You programmed everything in your own heart before you were born that you would need. And remember, you're only in a human body as male and female in third and fourth dimension. In fifth, you're an androgynous light being. So you are here to give you love and not to somebody else and focus on them because you think you need it from them. That's not true. Your source, your divinity, you're all that is. Give it to yourself. And then you will attract like beings who don't need you and you don't need them. You choose to enjoy as long as you choose to enjoy. But you're taking care of you 100%. That's fifth dimension. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
So you put your energy, 51% of your day, seeing you doing and experiencing love in all the ways that speaks to your body and your soul. Whether it's trees in the wind, whether it's listening to the ocean, whether it's watching birds fly, it doesn't matter what it is. Tune in to what puts a smile on your heart, and that will shift you. Thank you for your call, Maria.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. And thank you, John.
You're very welcome. Wonderful to see you and have you on here. All right, y'all, before we go, Judy, are you ready?
Are you ready? I'm ready.
Ready. All right. I'm going to turn my video off so that y'all can just have clear space for yourselves. And I invite everyone to just relax. And Judy, thank you so much for this. And everyone enjoy.
Okay, first of all, I have the dragon neophyte jade stone in my left hand. And I've had it in a pocket next to my heart the whole time we've been on the call. So the first thing I want to do is I want to call in the queen dragon. I didn't know there was one, but she's standing here. So I'm calling in the queen dragon and I'm asking her if she can share with me a name that I can refer her to. Namaha. That her name is Namaha. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to ask the queen of the dragons to very gently put the jade stone in her own heart. And she said, I already carry it. I said, thank you. And I'm asking her to now offer to your heart the jade stone, the dragon neophyte stone. And she's saying that as you say the word dragon, that's the open sesame. That's the key to your heart for this call. And as you say the word dragon and you put your hand on your heart space, because you have three hearts. You have your human heart when you're in human form. You have your chakra heart when you're in form. But your third heart has four names. That is your creator heart, your immortal heart, your sacred heart, your high heart. That's the heart we're talking about. And that sits in front of your spinal column. And your connecting point is a little hollow space at the base of your throat. That's where all your Akashic records are kept. Every thought, word, and deed you've ever said, the angels record. And every life and all the details about every life are recorded in that sacred heart. So now she's saying, and I'm seeing her become and take all of you in like children, like babies. And she's literally covering all of you, overlighting all people on this call. And I'm asking her if we can extend it to the world. She said, yes, if that's what you choose. And so now she's covering the whole world, and I'm seeing the world like an egg in her womb. So we're all in her womb. So take a minute and ask her to mother you. And ask her to hold you in the most cherished place in her heart and give birth to the new you. And right now, I'm seeing her going through birthing pains, but she's blowing out those sparkling fires out of her mouth. And I'm seeing her whole being is one big gold star. And she's giving birth to billions and billions of little stars. So that's you stepping into your star self. And Earth is becoming its star self. What a beautiful way to do this. And so now the jade is in your heart, and now it's becoming liquid jade, and it's going through your entire body from head to toe and covering all of you with the beautiful gifts that the jade stone has. So just breathe and take it in. And now say to yourself with your hand on your heart, doesn't matter which hand, I am home. I am home. I am home. And now I'm seeing all of us as little stars becoming bigger stars. And I'm seeing inside the center of each star is the jade stone. So the beautiful crystal rainbow dragon is now and has been birthing you into your new experience of self or the new age. And now I want you to kind of feel and kind of notice, what color are you? And just celebrate it. If you don't get anything, celebrate whatever color it is. And just tell your higher self, I'll be ready when you're ready to show it to me. So now her baby, which is shy, is now blowing that beautiful, multicolored rainbow sparkles from its mouth as it's covering and showering you with every gift of your dragon self that you're now ready for. And the baby crystal rainbow dragon is now beaming a gold light from its third and fourth eye of truth to your third and fourth eye of truth. And the reason it's being done that way is because your third eye is your masculine eye, and on the crown of your head, that is your feminine eye, which is called your moon eye. And you want your moon eye and your third eye to merge, because that's your fourth eye on the crown of your head, so that now you can see through the eye of your own truth, not anything anybody else has told you. And that's what the baby's initiating, is your third and fourth eye merging, and you seeing through the eye of your own truth. Now she's showing me what her baby pouch was. And I didn't know until I got this message. I didn't know that dragons had a pouch like kangaroos. And I found it interesting that my lady who does my computer work, she's the one that finds all the images. And she found an image that shows the pouch on the side of the dragon. I never knew this until Sephora and the other dragons told me they have a pouch like a kangaroo for the first couple days to keep their babies in until they can be on their own. So now I'm also going to ask that you attract the perfect dragon guardian of the Sacred Heart for you. And it's going to be a white dragon. And that white dragon will present itself to you in whatever way you're ready for when you're ready. So don't strain trying to hear its name. Just know that it will whisper it in your heart when you're ready. But now you have your own white dragon that is the guardian of your Sacred Heart. And just feel how loved you are by the dragon family. And feel how much you love you and your dragon self, however many dragon selves you may be experiencing. So now know that the crystal rainbow dragons that are the guardians of the ancient wisdom of the elders and creation, they only work with the ascended masters, master angels, and master crystals. So that clarifies who you are right off the bat. If you're on this call, you're a master, or they wouldn't be working with you, and you wouldn't be guided to be on the call. So when you tell that silly idea to yourself that you're not enough, and that you had this and this, and you should be this, remember your source. You're whole, complete, and perfect, always. You didn't come here to learn anything. That's a lie. And so now we're being guided into the love mountains of Poland, into inner earth. And I want you to feel you as that wind that's becoming particles of love. You're not in the form of a dragon. And in that wind shape, I see all of you now in your wind shape. And we're going inside Poland, and we're going into inner earth. And I've been channeling inner earth for over 20 years. And each of you are living lives inside the earth, whether you're consciously aware of it yet or, no, or you don't know. You are. So now you're entering the crystal cave of transfiguration. And this is a gift that you have to be mature enough to receive to even be offered to go in there. There again, you need to be a master. Isn't this beautiful? Because you may not have even thought of yourself as a master, and here you are. So that is the home of the crystal rainbow dragons inside the mother tree of life. And I want you to feel yourself in the mother tree of life and look all around you and see the waterfalls, see the beautiful landscape, see the fairies, see the mermaids and the mermen, see the pixies, see the trolls, see the unicorns, see the fairies, see the leprechauns, see the elementals. They're all here. All the beings that you saw and knew of when you were younger, that you were talked out of, now you're reconnecting. And you're connecting to the mystical and the magical, which is what you stepped out of as a young child because you were criticized and laughed at for talking about. You were riding your rainbow unicorn, or you see the fairies, or whatever it is. So now we're reconnecting you to the mystical and magical. So now those parts of you can now come home. And you're taking back your power. So I want you to know that after this call, you are being presented with an opportunity to drink water and to rest deeply so that everything that we're talking about, you're taking in ease and grace and joy. You're not taking it in suffering, pain, and struggling. You want to take it in ease and grace. And you want to live a life of grace. That is the life of the dragons. They live in grace. So now I see myself sleeping, and I recognized when I wake up, I feel clear and radiant, and I'm now that aqua color of aura with the gold sparkles. I fly out of the pouch, and I see everywhere I look, I see all of you with me floating in crystal bubbles of joy-filled light, each different pastel color crystal rainbow dragon. And I hear laughter because it's so joyous to be rebirthed by the mother dragon. And as you are each also transforming through joy and delight, I also notice where that beautiful heart-shaped dragon jade stone is in your body as the gift from Merlina. And Merlina is the name of the rainbow dragon that is initiating this call and helping you. Her name is Merlina. So now she is helping to take you into awakening in new ways, and you are now ready for your master selves as crystal rainbow dragons to open in new and exciting ways in your sacred heart, your third eye, the crown chakra, and more. And it's taking you to great treasures of your own soul that you didn't even know you had. And you're also being guided excitingly into new master realms of light and life. And you're increasing your master emotions of strength, of courage, of fortitude, and leadership through love, ease, grace, and joy, aligned with your sacred heart and your I am presence. The dragon jade, will take any unloving energies that you still carry and turn them into loving vibrations that your sacred heart can benefit from as you draw in and send out omniversal love to all. And by the way, Jesus and Mary Magdalene came to teach about Christ consciousness. He's not Christ. They came to teach Christ consciousness, which is unconditional and limited love. So now you stepped into your Christ consciousness self as a master. And this is going to assist you with any dysfunctional relationships, enabling one to see the reality of it all, and encourage you to live as your authentic self and to make and attract healthy and loving heart choices and kindred friends. And that's what this beautiful Jade is doing. Also, the Dragon Jade is creating a deeper way for you to gain truer awareness of some areas of confusion through deeper dreaming, and so that you can come back into divine balance, knowing what would honor and bless you now. So you're just going to know that you know. I see us all standing in a circle, blowing huge flames of multicolored love going out in all directions as we offer it to all souls, all of creation, and all of life is vibrantly alive in healthier ways. So see the whole planet lit up in golden lights, and see every being on the planet lit up in golden lights. That's who we really are. And know that you're home. You are now forming a 12-pointed star. And you're aware that each point of the star is connected to a specific planet and to your galactic brothers and sisters that you're most familiar with. And you have each been selected by the Creator to be an ambassador of a planet and help facilitate goodwill for all. You will each now spend most of your nights with your galactic brothers and sisters who you have had the most life experience with, and help promote peace if this choice speaks to your sacred heart as creator beings of the Most High. If you are choosing to accept this new master mission, just put your hand onto your heart center and say yes. Your new callings will start on the night of the webinar with John Burgos and will continue for 1 year. Merlena will be the commander of this calling, and you can connect to her the same way by putting your hand directly onto your sacred heart center, call her in the part of you that's Melena, and tell her what it is that's in your heart. You will each be assigned a new Master Crystal Rainbow Dragon as a guide for this new year experience. And you will be asked at the end of the year if you would like to extend your calling for another year if needed. So take this moment to feel yourself in your heart and know that you're home. So I ask for the Mother Dragon, Selene, to help you to be grounded and to wake up now and come back into your body. And know that you're not the person that got on the call. You've now been upgraded in whatever way honors you and blesses you and nothing else. Give yourself a big hug and thank yourself for showing up, for listening to this sacred calling by the dragons. And isn't this beautiful that you can go visit and you can go into the home of the dragons inside Inner Earth anytime you want. You have an automatic calling card, which is that 12-pointed star in your heart. And you can go there anytime you want. And so take this moment and breathe. Wake up and be here now. And know that all is well. All is safe. And you are experiencing only what honors you and blesses you in alignment with your sacred heart and your I am presence. And as you recognize that you heard the call and you allowed it, how sacred are you? Because you just upgraded way beyond where you were when you got on the phone. And is that not a beautiful gift to give yourself? So take this moment, put your hand on your heart, and thank you, because we are a family of masters and new children, and you heard the call, you followed it, and you received the gift. And now, every time you connect within your aura length, which is anywhere from 500 feet to over 11 or 1,200 feet, or like John, 1,400, then all of the new information that you have now taken in today, you're offering to every higher self of every single being that's in that radius of your aura. How beautiful is that? So take a moment and laugh. And that brings you grounding, and that brings you back into home. And so it is, beloved, we are.
And so it is.
Wow.
Right. Y'all come back and listen to the replay, come back in. But more importantly than that, allow yourself to be at peace and let this just pour all over you, into every cell, all those places. Let that light fill you up even more than what you already lit. Judy, that was amazing. My goodness.
We all are amazing, aren't we? Look what we've
Yes,
created.
we are. Yes,
Right?
we are.
It takes everyone on the phone that has created us having this experience. Every soul. How beautiful is that?
It's so beautiful. Y'all, the offer to have a private session with Judy to receive more of a dragon transmission, especially created for BTO. It's in the chat box. If you're still in the meditation coming out, just click on it and leave it open on your browser and get to it later. And again, the replay will be up a little bit later this evening, so you can come back in and listen after you had the chance to integrate and just be and receive and feel this expansion. Judy, you're freaking amazing. Thank you for your love, your laughter, your awareness, your grounded awareness of the love and the light that we are. And it's like I said earlier, you bring us home. Thank you for what you do and the way that you do it.
We're awesome, aren't we? Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share whatever it was I was to share tonight. I thank you for having us have that opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes, I love gathering parties like this. It's wonderful. And everybody on the call, thank you all for your light, your love, your presence. Just all of you. It's a blessing and an honor to be here with all of you. And with that, I bow to each and every one of you. Namaste. And I look forward to seeing you on the next call. Judy, I look forward to talking to you at the very least in June and hopefully sooner.
I love you, John. Thank you.
All right. Everybody have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.